Hey guys, I'm Alfred Podcast and welcome to week 29 of the Premier League review. If you want to know what we do, take a look at the past set of Premier League results. We take a look at the Premier League table and we finish off by looking at the top goal scorers. So here is the past set of Premier League results. These games were played on Thursday the 1st, Saturday the 3rd, Sunday the 4th and Monday the 5th of March 2018. You'd have probably noticed the extra game here was Arsenal versus Man City was supposed to happen last Sunday in the league, but they played each other in the Carabao Cup final, so the fixture was rearranged to Thursday, so I'll cover that now. Also next again, at the time in the video, so everyone here about a specific match, just go to time next to the game and skip out all these crap, but without further ado, let's get into our first match. We start with the rearranged game as Arsenal took on Man City. Man City took the lead in the 15-minute mark as Bernardo Silva put the visitors ahead. Leroy Sané ran past 4 Arsenal players, all of them just refusing to tackle the German. He drew Mustafi out of position, which allowed him to slip a ball through to Bernardo Silva. Silva then cut inside onto his left foot and curled his shot into the top corner. And Man City doubled their lead 10 minutes later as the other Silva, David, put Man City 2-0 up. Yet again, Leroy Sané mugging the Arsenal back line off as he easily went past Mustafi, pulled the ball to Sergio Aguero. Koscielny is a good 5 yards away from the striker, who simply found David Silva with a cutback, who took a touch to set himself up and then curled his shot past Petr Cech at the near post. And Man City made it 3-0 5 minutes later, and after being at the heart of both goals, Leroy Sané got the goal this time, and it was a well-deserved goal for the German, who was outstanding in this match. Man City just passed it around Arsenal as David Silva and Kyle Walker played it between each other, and it was given to Aguero, who gave it to Kevin De Bruyne, who played a lovely first-time ball through to Walker. He crossed it in low to Sané, who tapped the ball home from point-blank range. But Arsenal would get a great chance to get back into it in the 50th minute when they were awarded a penalty as Henrik Mkhitaryan went down under a challenge from Otamendi. Pretty needless foul to give away, and Arsenal had a chance. Pierre Aubameyang stepped up to take it, and it was a decent penalty, but it wasn't quite in the corner as Ederson went the right way and palmed the ball away to his left. And that's how the game ended in the postponed match from Sunday where Man City won 3-0 at Wembley. They go to the Emirates and win 3-0 there as well. Arsenal can't be shocked with this result. I mean, they had Danny Welbeck on the pitch. Danny Welbeck. Man City were all over Arsenal, who never challenged, and Man City never had to get out of first gear to dispatch of the Gunners. And we went to Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Crystal Palace took the 11th minute thanks to Andros Townsend. Bit of luck came in the finish of this one as Christian Benteke did well to weave in and out on the edge of the box, making a mockery out of Chris Smalling. But then again, that doesn't take much. He then laid it off to Townsend, and his effort took a hefty deflection off of Victor Lindelof and flew into the back of the net. And how about this? This was the first time in Premier League history that Crystal Palace took the lead against Man United. And Crystal Palace doubled that lead just after half-time through Patrick Van Aanholt. Quick move by Palace and it caught United out as a free kick was taken quickly by Jeffrey Schlupp, and he sent Van Aanholt down the left-hand side, and the wing-back had a clean run through on goal, and he accepted that with pleasure as he sprinted full pelt at the goal, and you'd expect him to smash it, but it was a lovely stroked finish past David De Gea. But Man United would get to go back 10 minutes later through centre-back Chris Smalling. A corner was cleared by Christian Benteke, but United recycled the chance as Antonio Valencia whipped it in, and there completely unmarked was Smalling, who headed back across goal and into the far corner. And United levelled the game up in the 76th minute as Alexis Sanchez took a shot at goal that was deflected by James Tompkins, and the ball fell to the feet of Romelu Lukaku, who picked his spot and put the ball in the corner. And United won the game in the 91st minute when Nemanja Matic scored his first goal for United, and what a goal it was. The ball was cleared out about 20 yards out when the Serbian touches it, it bounces kindly for him, and he put his laces through it and it flew straight into the top corner. And that's how the game ended. What a fantastic second half of football, and what a fantastic goal from Nemanja Matic to win it. The way United played that second half, why can't they always play like that? They were so slow in the first half, but in the second it was a completely different side. They looked like they wanted it more, and they went out and got it. Crystal Palace were very good in this match, and they did deserve at least a point, but in the end a wonder strike from a Serbian put a dent in Palace's quest for survival. And we went to Swansea versus West Ham. Swansea took the lead 8 minutes into the match when Ki Sung-yueng got only his second goal of the season. Came out of absolutely nowhere really, as a South Korean hit the shot about 20 yards out, hardly any power on it, but the placement was spot on as the ball nestled into the bottom corner. And Swansea doubled their lead in the 32nd minute when Mike van der Horn got the goal. Horrible defender from West Ham as the ball was put into the box from a corner, and there was absolutely no one near the big defender as he leaped above everyone else and thumped his header home. And Swansea pretty much wrapped the game up 3 minutes into the second half when on loan Andy King got a goal on his first start for his temporary club. Another moment of defending madness from West Ham as a header was nicely saved by Adrian, but he can only push it to the side. It hits Javier Hernandez on the mush, hits the post, ricochets back out, fell to Andy King, who tapped home. And Swansea had the perfect chance to get their fourth 20 minutes later when Andrea Ayew was brought down in the box and the ref pointed to the spot. His brother stepped up to take it, and Jordan Ayew sent Adrian the wrong way and slotted it home for his 10th goal of the season. But Swansea would have kept a clean sheet in the 79th minute. West Ham got to go back as Mikel Antonio got West Ham's 1000th Premier League goal. Yet again another goal from the subs bench for him as a free kick was just thumped forward. Antonio took it down with his thigh, swiveled and struck the shot low and hard. And as the game ended, 2 games in a row now, West Ham have lost 4-1 last week against Liverpool, but I feel they will be more disappointed with this one, as no offence Swansea, a lot of other football fans, including myself, would have had West Ham to win this one, as I think their fans will as well. But let's not take anything away from Swansea. Another huge win in their quest for survival, and this win could be as vital as any, as it actually took them above West Ham in the table. And we went to Brighton versus Arsenal. The first proper attack of the game led to the first goal as Brighton took the lead in the 8th minute through Lewis Dunk. The man with the most own goals this season finally bagged one at the right end as a corner was put into the box. Petr Cech came for it but was beaten to it by Shane Duffy, who headed it down, and there to finish was Lewis Dunk, who smashed it home. And Brighton doubled their lead 20 minutes later when Glenn Murray bagged his 11th league goal of the season. Shambolic defending from Arsenal as Laurent Koscielny gave the ball away high up the pitch. Pascal Gross pinged a lovely ball in the box for Glenn Murray, and the striker headed home. But Arsenal would get a goal back in the 40th minute through Pierre Aubameyang. Lifeline almost handed to Arsenal on a silver platter as a poor clearance was pounced on by Alex Iwobi. Iwobi found Granit Xhaka and the Swiss put it into the middle, and there was Aubameyang who flicked it home. And as the game ended, it's just not good enough Arsenal. If we're being honest, Brighton came in this game and they knew they could win, and they did. They set up perfectly for this game as they didn't let Arsenal have a load of the ball. When they wanted it, they went for them, and they took the game by the scruff of the neck in the first half. Arsenal did improve slightly in the second half, but not by much, and after 3 disappointing results in the space of a week, time is running out for Mr. Wenger. And we went to Burnley versus Everton. Everton took the lead in the 20-minute mark when Cenk Tosun got his first goal for the Toffees after joining in January. Theo Walcott whipped the ball in that Seamus Coleman helped on, and there all alone was Tosun, who stooped down to head it home. But Burnley levelled the game up 10 minutes in the second half through Ashley Barnes. Everton had been pretty solid at the back all game, but fair play to the Burnley attackers who did well here, as James Tarkowski did well to find Matt Lawton. He then played a lovely ball through the Everton defence to Ashley Barnes. Barnes had a bit of space and took his time before firing past Jordan Pickford. And Burnley took the lead in the 80th minute through Chris Wood. It came from a corner that Johan Goodmanson whipped in. Pickford didn't come for it. Ashley Williams doesn't do anything because he's absolutely useless. And Chris Wood leapt up and headed home. And things would get even more difficult for Everton as they were reduced to 10 men in the 86th minute when Ashley Williams got sent off. But to be fair, they were already at 10 men when Ashley Williams was on the pitch. So what's the difference? Bit of a needless card this one, as him and Ashley Barnes are marking each other, doing the whole tussling thing. And then the Everton captain threw his arm into the throat of the striker and he was sent off. Not an out and out elbow, but it was a violent misconduct, and the referee got that spot on. And that's how the game ended. Burnley ended a string of bad results recently as they picked up their first win in 11 games. Decent game this one as well, with both teams going for it, but Burnley were the better side in the second half and deserved both their goals. Sam Allardyce got what's fair to say a bad reaction as he waddled off down the tunnel as their bad form continued. Everton looked really poor in the second half, just not carving anything, as Burnley picked up a huge win as they tried to end their season the way they started it. And we went to Liverpool versus Newcastle. Liverpool had more of the ball in the first half, but Newcastle did really well at the back to restrict the chances that the front three were getting, but they couldn't keep them out till half time as Liverpool took the lead in the 40th minute through Mohamed Salah. The ball fell loose in the middle of the pitch and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain pounced on it and drove forward, dragging a good few of Newcastle defenders out of position. He slid it through to Salah in the box, who finished through the legs of the Newcastle keeper. And Liverpool doubled their lead in the 55th minute. Sadio Mane got the goal. Lovely one-touch passing in the middle of the pitch from the Reds, and it ends up with Firmino driving forward. He flicked it through to Sadio Mane, and his first touch took him away from his man, and he's used his second to slot it home. And the game ended a pretty comfortable win in the end for Liverpool. Newcastle had only one decent chance that forced Karius into a lovely save to deny Mo Diame, but other than that, he had nothing to do. Newcastle defeated at Anfield as the former Liverpool boss Rafa Benitez lost to Liverpool for the first time in his managerial career. And we went to Tottenham versus Huddersfield. Tottenham took the lead in the half-hour mark when Heung-min Son got the goal. He did deserve this as he was outstanding in the opening of the match, and Spurs got the goal from a Huddersfield throw-in as the hosts regained possession. Del Ali puts in a lovely ball through to Son and the South Korean, who took it past the keeper and slotted it home. And Tottenham doubled their lead 10 minutes in the second half when Heung-min Son got his and Tottenham's second. Harry Kane with the assist as he put a cross into the box, and they're running on to meet it was Son, who nodded it home. And as the game ended, a pretty comfortable win in the end for Spurs as Huddersfield went to Wembley, and from the get-go they set out with damage limitation. Very compact and tight, which is great, but ultimately they gave Spurs way too much of the ball, and you can't do that with Tottenham, as a Son double gave Tottenham the win. And we went to Leicester versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth got the perfect chance to take in the 35th minute when they were awarded a penalty after Joshua King and Mark Albright have a tangle of legs. King went down and the ref pointed to the spot. Joshua King also stepped up to take it and he steered the penalty home. And it looked like Bournemouth were going to pick up the win going into stoppage time, still ahead, but in the 96th minute Leicester found the net with the final kick of the match. It came from a free kick that Riyad Mahrez stepped up to take and he hit the shot and it looked like it was going wide, but the curl on this was unreal as it came back in. The curl plus the bounce, that took the keeper off and it went in. And as the game ended, I'd say Leicester did deserve this draw as they did improve in the second half after they were forced to change tactics when Amati went off through injury. Both teams are edging ever so close to safety and a point will do both of them the world of good. And moving on to Manchester City versus Chelsea. Pretty dull first half with Man City coming to attack and Chelsea looking like they went to the Etihad with the intent of a draw. They did hold on to half time, but not without a scare as Azpilicueta Leroy Sané effort off the line. But the league leaders did find a way through 30 seconds into the second half through Bernardo Silva. Such an easy goal for Man City as Sergio Aguero got the ball, played it to David Silva behind the Chelsea back line. He then put it across the floor into the box and there to convert it at the back post was Bernardo Silva. And as the game ended, a pretty uninspiring performance from the visitors. Like I said, they looked like they set up for a draw. Even when they went behind, they had no desire to go forward and get anything from this game. They were just booting balls up the field and expecting Eden Hazard to get onto it, and you could tell Eden Hazard was getting more and more frustrated. Chelsea only managed 3 shots in the entire game and none of them were on target as Man City cruised past the reigning champs thanks to a very poor Chelsea performance. And we went to Watford versus West Brom. Very boring first half, but then the second happened and it really picked up. Didn't take much though, and one of these teams did take the lead in the 79th minute and it was Watford as their captain Troy Deeney got the winner. Gregor's Krychowiak lost the ball and Will Hughes pounced on it and sent Troy Deeney through on goal. The striker kept his cool and clipped the ball over Ben Foster and into the back of the net. And as the game ended, I honestly don't know how West Brom didn't score in this one. Salomon Rondon had a golden chance, header in the box, no one around him. He somehow put it wide. Then again, Watford also had a good chance as Kieran Gibbs cleared an effort off the line, and then a minute later, his teammate gave it away, and they conceded. Watford picked up the win thanks to their captain as West Brom fell to their 5th league loss in a row. And finally, we've got Southampton versus Stoke. Not much really happening in this one. Butler made some decent saves to keep his side in it. Other than that, there was nothing. Southampton had the better chances, but neither team could find the breakthrough as they both picked up a point. So that's all the games I've got for you this time. Before we go, let's take a look at the Premier League table and top goal scorers, starting off with the Premier League table. Start with top 5, and as you can see, Manchester City are still on the top after they won both of their games this episode against Arsenal and Chelsea. Man United are second after their late win over Crystal Palace. Liverpool are third following their win over Newcastle. Tottenham are fourth after their win at Huddersfield. And Chelsea make up the top 5 despite the loss to Man City. Moving on to the bottom 5, West Brom are still on the bottom, now 7 points behind following their loss to Watford. Stoke in 19th following their 0-0 with Southampton. Crystal Palace make up the relegation zone after their loss to Man United. Southampton 17th after they drew Stoke. And Newcastle make up the bottom 5 following their loss at Anfield. Moving on to the top goal scorers, and as you can see, Mohamed Salah and Harry Kane are joint for goals, both on 24 goals, but Mo Salah is on the top thanks to his 8 assists, whereas Harry Kane only has the 2. Sergio Aguero is next on 21 goals and 6 assists, Raheem Sterling is 4th on 15 goals and 6 assists, and Romelu Lukaku makes up the top 5 on 14 goals and 6 assists. A lot of people on 6 assists there. Right, so that's all I've got for you this time. If you did enjoy the shot, leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll be back next Tuesday for the next episode of the Premier League review. If you want to follow my personal Twitter, the link is in the description. If you want to follow us on Twitter to stay up to date about when we go live or upload a video, the link to that is in the description as well, or it's at portionofsport_. We should be streaming tonight PSG versus Real Madrid, second leg of the Champions League round of 16. Liverpool Porto is also on at the same time, and I would normally stream that, but Liverpool are leading 5-0 on aggregate, so there's really no point in me streaming that. So we'll see if Jack is going to stream the PSG versus Real game. If you missed last episode, that'll be popping up on your screen about now, along with a link to the channel so you can subscribe. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. I've been Mark from A Portion of Sport, and I will see you soon.